involves voices and us and some guests. Well, one and my sister, but other than that, normal Thursday business. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to cue things up. We got recording going. Oh, that's very good. Yeah, we got to have that. All right, here we go. Whoops. Why did that split again? Crap. Let me kill that one. Okay. Here we go. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
Guess what? Corey Haim and Corey Feldman are giving out their personal numbers. If you call 1-900-909-3700, you can listen to their private phone messages and get their personal number where you can leave them a message of your own.
I guess I believe you.
The Morning Stream. This is what I love about my job. I get to travel, see the world, meet new cultures. I mean, it's all bacterial, but hey, what the bleep?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to TMS. It is Thursday, November 16th, 2023. Scott Johnson here and Brian Ibbett there. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott.
Yeah.
Thursday, big day. Big day.
That is a big day. Thursdays are crazy days.
They are. Yeah. Good fun with Wendi on the show typically, and then roll into some Coverville later. We'll talk about what I'm going to be doing on the show today, but we get into the final stretch of Coverville for the year, and it's like the big Beatles episode on Thanksgiving, and then the 2 episodes for the end of year, and then it's like this is where it gets a little on the crazy side.
Yeah, things get a little nutty around here. Here's the thing, though. I was just thinking about the Beatles. They effectively only had, this blew my mind, working together and making music together before the band was either not a band or stopped being a band. It's like 7 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you look at like 1963 to 1970, basically, and even there near the end, they'd kind of... It was closer like 1969 when they really kind of...
I think when the light is that intense for that short of a period of time, the only solution is the band doesn't end up staying together, especially not with all these like creative wonderkins, all of them except for maybe the drummer. But you know what I mean? Like he
goes fine. Come on.
He's fine, but he wasn't like going... He didn't sprout off and do some amazing solo work. He did some stuff, but it wasn't great. It was okay. Yeah. But George's stuff was amazing, except for that one song we all hate.
No, don't all hate that song.
Oh, that song sucks.
Remember, it's bad. A cover. Come on now.
It's like, to me, that and We Built This City are hanging out together.
Gosh. They're far from it.
Oh, both those songs just came out. I got my mind. Anyway, that's a thing. But I could not wrap my head around the fact that this is a 7-year collaboration, and that is it. But look at the impact. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's true.
Nothing quite like it,
No, exactly. And, still releasing stuff, right? Like the brand new song this year that I have mixed feelings about. And it's really specifically about George Harrison's non-involvement, because they used AI to figure out the whole, like, how to separate Lennon's piano from his vocals so that they could get a better quality of the song. They used basically the same thing that Peter Jackson used for the Disney Plus documentary, or Disney Plus Beatles home movies.
Oh, right. Right.
But then you've got Paul McCartney, who did a solo with the intent to sound like George Harrison. And that that's weird. That part, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I have such a problem with that, but
there's a real artifice to that that's hard to ignore.
There is, exactly. It's like, if it weren't guitar, if Paul McCartney says, well, I'm going to basically sing like I'm George Harrison, and like he actually sings on the track like George Harrison, more people would be up in arms about it.
Yeah.
And that's
hence why you're torn. I get it.
But I do like the song, and I do. You shut up, Claire. But I'm. There's just that little tiny bit that's like a little asterisk for me.
Do you
I
think
like the song asterisk?
Did they assume everybody they're working with various estates and are willing to do these collaborations? And do the AI business. And
nobody who was involved. I mean, no estates were harmed in the making of the new Beatles song.
Good. Probably only benefited, is my guess. They probably
right, exactly. Yes.
Only made money. No lose money. All right. We've been getting so many calls lately.
Okay.
And I love it. Yeah, no complaints. I absolutely love it. So we're going to do 3 in a row today. And this first one's amazing because it really took me down memory lane. I'll give Randy some thanks later because he kind of helped me find the thing because I think I lost it in that old hard drive crash that we had years ago.
Oh, cool. Good. Okay.
So found a little thing. Anyway, it'll make sense when I play it. But this is what the call was, and then I'll share more. Here you go.
Greetings, SARS and Bubonic. This is Zarek from Z. Hey, I'm on the hunt for a bit of Frog Pants lost media. So I remember about 10 plus years ago, way back when Randy was still a guest host on The Instance, some listener made an EDM track made up of stuff Randy said on the show. And I just remember the title of the track being, I Have Spread Disease Before. The only snippet that I hear in my brain from that is Randy going in an auto-tune fashion saying, I have spread disease before. Something's going down in the world of Warcraft. So yeah, if any frog panthers who are not lazy like I am could track this down, I think we would all benefit from that script that memory lane. Okay, thanks. Love you all. Bye.
Okay, great call, and it really sent me on a trek because I could not find it on my old drives. I searched everywhere. I was like, man, is this lost to time? And I pinged Randy. I said, hey, do you have that old song that someone made? And they auto-tuned our voices. And
I love that thing, by the way. That was, a
long time ago.
A long time ago, and it's still in my head when, I hear Randy sometimes as I remember him before.
Well, he ended up finding it. He ended up finding it in his email, of all places. And I probably could have, too, but I didn't think even look in there. But I brought it. I'm going to play it. So it's only a minute, all right? It's a minute long, but enjoy it because it's fun. Enjoy this. Here you go.
I have spread disease before.
Here's some of the stuff going down in the world of Warcraft.
I have spread disease before.
Here's some of the stuff going down in the world of Warcraft.
There's one thing I want to say. I have spread disease before. Go out with 8 people, and you'll find that there's 1 or 2 who are in your face.
We have a little gerbil orgasm in the world of Warcraft.
I have spread disease before.
Here's some of the stuff going down in the world of Warcraft.
I have spread disease before.
Here's some of the stuff going down in the world of Warcraft.
I have spread disease before.
There it is, man. Classic.
I love that.
Classic.
Who did that? Is that Gabers?
It is no, it is a dude named Varian is the Varian Ive is the I've spread disease. Hold on, where's the name? There it is, just Varian, Vauren, which I assume is probably like a game name, like his
I was gonna say probably his character name.
Yeah, so if he's still out there and listening, that thing really stuck in people's heads. Like we couldn't get rid of it.
Stuck in my head, and it's been however many years. What's the date on that?
2010 or 09 maybe, something like that.
Wow. Yeah.
It's been a bit, dude. It's been some time, more than 10 years.
Yeah.
Here's and just for fun, this was the other one we really liked. I want to play a little of it.
Cataclysm.
Cataclysm what?
Hey guys, this is Rachel.
Surely you can't be serious.
I'm sorry, what?
Cataclysm.
I love that one. That one, that's another good one. And that was that was Oxley who did like the intros and stuff for us back then. So many talented people doing cool shit.
Yeah,
man.
they really are. Yeah.
What a time. Anyway, thanks for that. Brought a lot of memories back. Totally appreciate it. And I heard, and when I found it, or when Randy found it, sent it to me, I was playing World of Warcraft. What? Wow. I was leveling my paladin alt right when he said he had it.
Timing.
Yeah.
The timing. Did you listen to it and were you like grooving?
Oh, totally. It was totally grooving.
Herbalism.
Yeah. I got the message. I started doing this, just kind of bobbing my head like some kind of weirdo white man. It was fantastic.
If the game was for me was just
for you.
Completing quests. No, I'm saying if World of Warcraft was just
Oh.
completing quests, leveling my rogue, all that, and raiding with the team, I would resubscribe right away.
Yeah.
The problem is, I want to be more for my team than the guy who shows up the raid night and hits bosses. I want to bring potions. I want to make sure that I've completed whatever fake busy work Blizzard has created for whatever, this one, like, oh no, you need to create, create attunement stamps and collect those attunement stamps and stick them all.
The stamps of attunement. There you go.
Exactly. But you know what I'm talking about? Like how there was always that other thing that you had to make sure you completed.
You had your dailies you had to do, and you had to get, if you didn't do your dailies, it meant you didn't have the rep you needed, or it didn't have whatever else it was. Yeah, all that stuff. Exactly. You're totally right. And I spent some good years doing both. I spent some time so busy that I couldn't do all that myself, so people just carried me through those raids. Fine,
I don't want to feel like I'm being dragged.
It sucks. I hated it. So later, like in the Cataclysm Lich King era, I was full contribution, came with stuff, was always there, high DPS in the group, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
But I'm in the mood now. I'm excited for some group content. I am looking forward to that. But I'm not gonna run meters. I'm not gonna compare my DPS to everybody. Those days are behind me. I don't care about that anymore. I'll play my best. I'm gonna come prepared. I want the gear, like all of that. But I'm not gonna I'm 2.4 points per second off than I was the last run.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Right, exactly, yeah.
That world is over for me. I had those mods. I did those things. I'm done. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, we've got another one here about the Discord. You mentioned the Discord earlier in pre-show. We're going to talk about it now because some people just don't know how to get in there, and here's the call about that.
Hey, this is Tom from New Hampshire. I've been trying to figure out for the past 2 days how to get into your Discord. I'm part of your Patreon. I signed up recently. Love the show. Love the extra stuff. It's fantastic. Just been playing around with Discord, figuring it out. I don't see a link in the Patreon app to join the Discord or anywhere on the website to join the Discord. How do I do it?
Okay. First of all, we made it too easy almost, and that's why it's kind of hard. It's security by obscurity a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you go to frogpants.com/TMS, it's right there. On the website. If you go you just go down a little bit, there it is. Under more, it says Discord channels, third thing over. That's one way to get in, but we don't lock it behind any kind of paywall. So anybody, anywhere can get into the Patreon or into the Discord, and it's the broader Frog Pants Discord. So it's all the shows, all the stuff, all the things. And you really just have to go to frogpants.com/Discord. That's it. Simple. Boom, bam, bim, you're in. So I decided rather than, try to do a personal reply to him, which I couldn't do anyway because it's a voicemail, we'd play it here, and I'd give that information again for anyone who hasn't been paying attention. So if you want part of this Discord and to hang out with other tadpoolers and like-minded folk, then go to frogpants.com/Discord, and you're in. That's it. That's all you got to do. Simple.
Easy. That couldn't be any easier.
No, it's just a link, and you click a box, and it says, "Do you want to join this?
Would you like to join Frog Pants?" And then you're in.
And it's a permanent link, and there are no passwords. You just get in. All right.
Exactly. Ambassador Doma. So he's saying, "Where is Brian posting in Discord? I can't see what he is posting." I'm posted it in the. It's a new topic in the TMS chatter.
Yeah, TMS chatter has like forums in there, and You want to click on the forums to see that. Some of that's it's not always obvious because it doesn't notify you when a new thread goes. So you kind of have to
look and see, oh, there are new threads. Ooh, I like this one. I'm going to kind of follow it.
Yeah.
Not even kind of, that's the term. You follow that thread and then you get notifications when there are new posts to that thread.
Yeah. And the Sarjas Discord has brought back forums. Yes, when they made the ability to convert your channel to a community channel, which we did, that included the addition of built-in forums, which we use all the time. There's all kinds of stuff going on in there. Plus all the regular Discord things.
Way more compact. Like it keeps things nice and tidy, but it means you've got to look for a couple things when you're looking.
Yeah, you got to like you used to with forums back in the day. You got to go in there and look.
Exactly.
Anyway, get in there. Frogpants.com/Discord. All are welcome, patron or not. Just get in. We'd love you to be a patron, but Whatever. We're not splitting hairs here. Okay, we've also been getting macaque wrong, according to a phone call. All right.
And let's be clear, Scott. I got it. Well, we both got it wrong. You said macaw or something like that.
Macaw, I think is what I said.
Macaw or macaw, yeah, something like that. And then I said, no, Scott, it's macaque. Let's say it. Enjoy the getting to say that, but apparently, yeah.
Well, we have a monkey expert who wrote in or called in.
Get this monkey off our back.
That's right. It's been peeling my hair out. Here is the call in question.
Hi, this is Ardo calling for the morning stream. Just in response to one of your guys' favorite pronunciations for a monkey, normally known as by you all macaque. After 12 years of working in various animal industries and zoos, as fun as it is to say it that way, it's typically pronounced macaque. Although, have fun, and you do you. Enjoy.
Okay. She can correct me anytime on pronunciation. I love, and it's not, because she's a woman. It's because she's just so nice about it. It's so much nicer than the typical, you guys, you're pronouncing Chiwetel Elijah wrong. Get it together, okay?
Yeah, this is so much more honey attracts more flies or bees or whatever. What is it?
Yeah.
Honey.
You catch more flies with honey than you do with a swatter or something like that. I think it's just you catch more flies with honey. Isn't that it? Or is there more to that?
I don't know. I understand the basis of it, but I don't think I have it right. But anyway, macaque. Fine. That's fine. And funny enough, I was watching a nature documentary in Richard Rattenborough.
Still damn funny, by the way. Just as much fun to say, look out! Watch out! There's a macaque in the tree.
Yeah, we got a macaque.
Oh, vinegar. That's right. Yeah, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Right.
Oh, is that that's the full phrase? But why would you attract?
Is anyone out there trying to catch flies with vinegar? Is there somebody out there? Is there?
Is that a thing? Maybe it is a thing. We do.
No,
that.
I think it was just like. Somebody came up with the phrase and said, yeah, but we need a second part to the phrase. You catch more flies with honey than, I don't know, vinegar. Put it out there.
Just
get
publish
it out there, Roger. Not Roger. Who's the Bartlett? Put it on out there, Bartlett.
That's right. It's 2 a.m. and we're out of pizza. Just publish is what he says.
Red Lakes. I like his version better. You catch more flies with macaque.
Yeah, there you go. Macaques are great fly catchers. So this is the thing. When you get fruit flies,
yes.
When you get them, do you do this? Kim makes a little bowl of.
Oh yeah, water and dishwashing liquid.
That's what it is. I was thinking it was vinegar, but it wasn't. It was dishwashing liquid. And then by the end of the day, all these little flies are in there. Wonder what they'd like. Is there sugar in that, or what's the deal there? I don't know what that's about.
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. I think they smell the sweetness of the dishwashing liquid. They go in and it kind of bogs their wings down and they get stuck. That's speculation. So those of you getting ready to dial your phones and tell me why I'm wrong, please.
Yeah, or the macaque lady, she can tell us. I like how she does it.
Stoic Squirrel says vinegar attracts them. So you're mixing the water and vinegar, like with apple cider vinegar? Apple cider vinegar and dish soap.
Maybe that is. It's all three. Okay. I knew there was something with dish soap in it, but I think it's also vinegar. So vinegar, they should change the phrase. You can attract more fruit flies
with a mixture of vinegar dish soap.
Because it rolls right off your tongue.
Just vinegar alone.
Yeah, rolls right off your tongue. It's simple. You put on a T-shirt. Yeah. Really easy. Anyway,
I feel what I caught yesterday?
What'd you catch?
I caught something way bigger than a fruit fly. Because I've been having problems with the squirrels, and it's not I love squirrels. I think they're adorable little rodents with their big fluffy tails and the goofy way that they prance when they run sometimes, and their knack for running part of the way in front of my car across the street, but then changing their mind and going back instead of just going the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But the problem is they get in my new bird feeder, my Bird Buddy bird feeder. Thank you, Tina, for that awesome birthday present. And they both eat all my food, but knock out all the rest of the food into the yard while they're looking for that one particular sunflower seed that they want. And
they're picky.
So I refilled it thing constantly, and then I'm sure we're going to get weeds from all the stuff that's got knocked into the yard. Yeah. So I tried spicy seed mix based on some listener recommendations. And Colorado, we have so many great Mexican food restaurants here that put their leftovers in the dumpster that the squirrels here have a very high tolerance for spice. So that's just not going to work.
No, you can't be doing that.
Exactly. I got one of those little humane catchers.
Oh, that's good.
And it's like a little wire box. And there's a door on it that's held by a heavy door that's held by a metal post, and that metal post goes down the side and connects to a little rocker seesaw switch that you put some food just past, so that they have to step on the little seesaw switch to get to it. And I caught 2 right away. Like, there's a family of 3 that always comes to the feeder, and they take turns knocking food out, knocking all the seed out, looking for the sunflower seeds. And 2 of them I caught right away. A cracker with some peanut butter on it. Great bait. Yeah. Got those in the catcher, drove them 1.5 miles away to this little park where they'll have, I drove them to a farm upstate, Scott, is what I did. But drove them to a little park 1.5 miles away, let them go. They both ran into the same tree, so I'm like, oh, I bet they'll find each other. It'll be perfect. But then I've got this one that's just been like, maybe he saw what happened. He's like, oh no, I'm just eating the food out of the feeder. I'm not going for that cracker with peanut butter on it. And,
what if he's seen some stuff? That guy's been around.
He might have seen some stuff. Finally, yesterday, he succumbed to his desires for peanut butter and caught him. He was adorable. He's a cute little guy, and took him over to the same tree, ran up the same tree, and I think he's reunited with the rest of his family.
Well, good. So you did the right thing. Although I just got a voicemail from Tina. I'm going to play it. This was her response to all this.
We should eat those squirrels.
It doesn't sound like her at all. It still tries so hard to do your thing. It just can't quite get it.
Good eating. Yeah, it's funny because we've had the clip you played, like, or the AI voice with the Tina voice thing that sounded a little bit more like Tina's voice. That one just sounds like, play it again. Do you have
all right, I'll play it again. Hold on. Here we go.
We should eat those squirrels.
Yeah, it I don't know who it sounds like, but it
maybe it needs to be longer. Okay, so let's try this. Let me generate a new one, and I'll do it with more text. Oh, this might work here. Okay, come on. Why is it taking so long? Oh, like it's hard. I just put in the description of the show. So TMS, Frog Pants Morning Show, not like the kind you're used to. Come on.
TMS is the Frog Pants Morning Show, but not like the kind you're used to. Join Scott Johnson and Brian Ibbett 4 days a week. Great guests, great laughs, and all kinds of stupid stuff await you here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the latest in entertainment, game shows, live calls, contests, segments, and much more.
I found a typo, Brian.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. Well done. You have a proofreader that's not my voice. You know what that totally reminds me of? The beginning of Solar Opposites, when different groups of aliens were given a pupa and ejected into the space.
Yeah, it's like, hi, I'm Sorbo, and
Corbo,
this is my I love that. It's pretty good. Although, what do they do now? I haven't seen the new one, so I don't know how they do it. But does Dan Stevenson do the voice now? I mean, does the intro stuff?
Dan Stevens does the intro, and
it
that's
works.
me holding the pupa. Oh, I've dropped the pupa. I hate humanity. It's all stupid. It's great because they didn't try to say, hey, Dan Stevens, sound as much as you can like
Justin Roiland.
Roiland. Yeah. Do your own thing. And they even explain why his voice is different in the very first episode.
I did see that. I saw the scene where you first hear it
in the throat.
Yeah, somebody put that on somewhere, on Facebook or something. But I haven't caught up to the season yet. I'm excited.
Oh my God, it's so great. And they decided not to do. Obviously, they couldn't do the same thing with the voice for Rick.
Right.
And the person they got who does the Rick and Morty voice is great.
Yeah,
I've been enjoying that new season as well.
2 people, by the way.
Two people.
Yeah, they got Rick doing one dude doing Rick, and the other guy doing Morty, which is interesting.
It is interesting, but it means that they don't have to do vocal tricks when the two of them are talking over each other. Right?
That's a good point.
They can have them together doing their voices. Oh, geez, Rick, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I think I like that better. Although isn't there a scene in a recent episode where Rick is fighting with Rick, so he kind of had to do that to himself.
Yeah, there's the evil Rick. I don't know, it's evil Morty.
Yeah.
The eye patch Morty is joining Rick and Morty for another.
Love it. So because of that Tina trick there, I was able to fix a typo, and I just finished it and checked it off.
Oh,
now
good.
It's done. Yeah.
Good.
I feel good about what's happened, what's transpired here today.
Well, and don't ever change our typo, Scott. Forever, this Google Doc that we both work in will be called The Morning Steam, as it has been for 2,556
Holy shit!
episodes.
I never noticed that there's no R in there.
Well,
now I have to change it, don't we?
No, don't do it. What are you talking about?
Look at it up there, looking stupid.
For
man,
2,556 episodes.
How long have you noticed? From a long time?
Yeah, for a long time. And I even mentioned it before. And
I don't
but
remember.
I mentioned it maybe about 1,500 episodes ago.
Oh my gosh, you guys. All right, I'll leave it. It's now a
Oh,
thing.
yeah. No, it has to stay.
It's the morning steam.
Yeah.
With me
You
and
ever
Brian.
change that, I'm done.
You're out.
That's how you can fire me, is change that, and then I'm like, all right, fine, body. Take over.
Yeah.
Take over, TV's Travis.
Send
Whatever.
Ice Worm to your house to carry your stuff out to your car. And
Provide Ice Roll will show up with a cardboard box. And,
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what I give him. I give him my.
You got a picture of Tina somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Some kind of fidget spinner. I don't know. Whatever you got there. All right, let's get to the news. We got to inform as well as entertain today. So let's get to that. Hey, look, we have some news, and it's brought to you by
Coverville today, back again at noon. So noon Mountain Time, 12 for those people who can't translate noon. 12 p.m. Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville. Look, Andy Partridge turned 70 this week, and not only does he hate performing on stage, and that's why you very rarely see XTC in concert, but he founded the band, and of course that means it's time to do another XTC cover story. So of course stuff like The Mayor of Simpleton, Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead, Making Plans for Nigel, Senses Working Overtime, Dear God, every single song that you love from XTC into the space will be played on today's episode of Coverville, covered by other people like who do we got? Fairport Convention, Paul Melanson. Oh, I love his cover. Matthew Sweet and Susanna Hoffs. Who else? And a cover by Andy Partridge himself. Dude does not do a lot of covers, so it's a rarity, and I've got it, and I'll be playing it.
Interesting. It must be weird being like a successful songwriter, musician that doesn't like touring.
Yeah. Well, that just hates performing live. It's like Kate Bush. She got nominated or got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but she didn't show up, and a lot of people thought, well, she's just snotty, like a snob, total snob. But she hates flying. She has a fear of flying. So
John Madden, that shit. That's what happened there.
Yeah, well, you can't. I guess you could take a long boat from the UK.
That's true.
To Cleveland and accept your award.
Yeah, it was easier for Madden to drive because he was just here in the States, right? Like he just went game to game or whatever. He had a bus and could
it's
afford
easy
it.
for him. Except I don't know what he would have done with all of these weird European 7:30 in the morning games that we've been having. But
yeah, that's true. That is
fortunately, we don't have to. Well, not fortunately. I mean, sad. We don't have John Madden to kick around anymore. But
yeah, that'd be great. You see what you got here with his big markers and shit. I miss that.
Exactly. I had myself a fresh bratwurst this morning, and
and now Michael's like, "Okay, big guy, you smell bad. It reeks here in the studio. It's first and one."
Hey, did you have some sauerkraut on that hot dog, John Madden?
Because you know those dudes are up there pitting out in the middle of a playoff game in that little studio with their crappy little headphones on. They're standing up. There's no way that Madden didn't smell like a big kraut dog.
I've been riding in a bus for 6 weeks. Get a whiff of me.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? And he circles
For the
himself.
first 2 weeks, we couldn't figure out gray water.
He's like, takes a marker, circles his left armpit. Now over here, you can see we got the stuff.
Wavy lines. You can see these wavy lines coming out of my pit.
That's right.
These comic book slang for I stink.
These are stink lines. Enjoy these, Al. All right, 1st and 2. Let's see how the Packers are. We've done the whole scenario. We've done the entire play.
Great.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the end of our play. All right, moving on to this story.
Sports talk today.
I
What
know.
the hell?
I know. We've changed our whole trajectory as a show today.
Yeah.
Day laborers say that a dude named Sam Haskell Jr. paid them $500 to take away bags of body parts. Now, here's the...
Those are some beautiful bags of body parts, Mrs. Cleaver.
Can I help move them?
Guess he's a different Haskell. Okay.
Yeah, close though. What'd they call him? Not the
Eddie Haskell?
Yeah, but didn't he have a nickname like
No, I thought the other ones had a nickname. Was there a moose that Wally had a friend? He had a friend who was like only went by a nickname.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. Wally's friend.
Yeah, Lumpy.
Lumpy, was it?
Yeah, I came up with it before I saw Matuba, by the way. Lumpy.
I mean, this ancient-ass show predates us by decades, but... I mean, when that came out in the 50s, early 50s?
Yeah. I mean, it was you and me coming home from school, slicing up an apple, and then watching Leave It to Beaver and I Love Lucy reruns before...
Yeah, and if you were lucky, you got...
Andy Griffith?
Andy Griffith. I always liked Andy Griffith, and I always liked the Bewitched. So give me some Bewitched anytime. So I don't care which Darren? Darren, I don't care. I'm Darren Agnostic.
You're
I don't have any
I'm
skin
more
in that
Darren
game.
tolerant.
Well, you have to be with the second guy. He was a little out there, but
it was a little off, yeah.
Well, anyway, so this is crazy because
bags of body parts. We really should get.
Yeah,
back
we
to
really
the
should get
story.
back to this horrible story. So the deal was he had paid them to haul trash bags. They didn't know there were body parts in it. These people didn't. They're just day laborers looking for some money, paying their rent and food and everything else. They go to do it. They realize they're moving body parts, and they tried to notify police. They described the bags as when we picked up the bags, you could tell they weren't rocks. The men also described the bags as soft and soggy. Once the workers were a block away, they pulled over to look inside the bags. The worker said, quote, "I started seeing body parts, a belly button. I was astonished. Of course, I felt bad. We had been tricked," he says.
We've been tricked. These aren't rocks.
Yeah, that's a belly button. What the?
Yeah. He's having us haul bags of belly buttons.
Here's the worst part, and the part that makes me mad. They went back to alert authorities. They added that 2 law enforcement stations, the California Highway Patrol and LAPD Topaganda Station. Topaganda?
Topanga.
Topaganda.
Yeah. Topaganda. That's when they try and put misinformation out there, but it's really good. It's Topaganda.
Yeah, it's the best. Not bottom ganda. Or
yeah, exactly.
Underganda?
Flopaganda.
Flopaganda.
Flopaganda. That's Topaganda.
Flopaganda's good. They got turned away. They just blew them off. Both police stations went, meh. We don't think you're telling us the truth. Whatever.
Which sucks. It's like maybe you should have taken the bags there instead of taking the bags and returning the money. Meh. Keep the money. Take the bags to law enforcement.
Yeah, I think that would have been the way. But also, one assumes if these had not been immigrant workers of a different place,
illegally in the country is what you're.
Well, maybe, but I just think the cops didn't take them serious because they were brown people.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to swath the entire department with a racist move, but I could see if you had like 5 or 6 day workers coming in, all dirty and sweaty from the day working, and they walk in there and go in very broken English, "We think we found bodies." I mean, maybe the police were just dicks. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
The police must have been dicks, regardless of any racism and prejudice and all that sort of thing. People come in and say they've got bodies. You're like, okay, Dave,
whatever.
Go back to the Home Depot and wait for a truck to pull up. Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, it does seem like they just assumed they were kidding or something, or I don't know
exactly.
But now they're in trouble because they turned it away.
Benjamin, they thought they were telling the police about belly buttons, but instead they found dicks. I think that's a good way of putting it.
Not bad. Anyway, not much else is known other than that other dude's now arrested and they're investigating what's going on.
It's pretty ballsy, though, to say, I'm going to kill all these people, chop up their bodies, put them in bags, but I'm going to have somebody else haul them off.
Yeah, it is that's pretty ballsy. I'm pretty sure it was his wife, maybe?
Oh, really?
I
don't know the Sam Haskell Jr. Story, apparently. Like that when I saw this up there,
Here it is. Haskell's arrest came after a woman's dismembered torso was found outside a dumpster in a parking lot in Encino. Haskell's wife, May, and her parents, Gaoxin Li and Jing Wang, are still missing, so they think maybe their bodies.
Oh, wow.
So we got some kind of psycho.
Son of a Hollywood exec.
Oh. Who's Haskell Sr.? I want to know.
I don't know.
Maybe it is just Senior.
It just probably is Samuel Haskell, yeah.
Let's see, LAPD. Oh, that's why this guy's a big deal.
Yeah, so I guess we're not getting the LAPD. We're not getting the LA news here in Denver because this is a big deal, but we're not hearing about it.
Here it is. Son of Hollywood agent. Who's the agent? Let's see.
Well, Sam Haskell would be my guess.
Yeah, that's my thinking, but just trying to see if it's someone we should know from something.
Oh, sure. Like he represents who he represents, basically.
Oh, here it is. Emmy-winning producer and Hollywood agent Sam Haskell, who served as a agent for Kathy Lee Gifford, Whoopi Goldberg, Dolly Parton, George Clooney, and others.
Wow. All right.
It's not a bad list.
No.
I don't know why Kathy Lee Gifford...
It started off a little rough with Kathy Lee Gifford, but it really...
It really picked up by Clooney and Parton. By the time it got to them, it was fine. Let's see. Investigators also looking for 2 missing vehicles, including a white Volkswagen Tiguan and a 2014 Nissan Pathfinder. All right. Well, good luck. That sucks. That guy's a poo-poo.
Yeah. Total poo-poo.
He's a real poo-poo for what he did.
What a poo-poo had.
Let's move on to this story. An airplane crew discovered missing window panes after takeoff and had to turn around. Ooh, I don't like this at all. This is no good. A flight from London to Orlando, Florida, had to turn around after passengers discovered that some cabin windows were missing panes after takeoff. The flight leaving October 4th from London Stansted Airport, headed to Orlando International, was a flight just for more than 30 minutes, or in the air for more than 30 minutes, or just more than 30 minutes, before it safely touched down, according to a special bulletin. While the crew did not notice anything wrong with the plane before takeoff, several passengers reported that it was colder and louder than usual when the plane became airborne.
Awful windy in here. Why are my papers blowing around like crazy?
Yeah, why is the person I'm flying with sucked to the wall and can't move? What's that about?
Right.
I assume it all worked like a cartoon for them.
Of course, yes, exactly. I mean, obviously those things are double pane, so
that's right.
The outer.
That's right.
One of the panes was missing.
It says a different level of damage by the same means might have resulted in more serious consequences. So they're glad they caught it when they did, and they went back down. Let's see. The plane belongs to Titan Airways. It's a European charter airline. They did not respond to comments or to questions yet. So I would have freaked me out. Yeah. A Titan.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Titan Airways.
Titan.
That sounds like... we love to fly, and it shows, except we forgot to put the window panes back in.
Yeah, I wonder if the pressure, once they would have gotten high enough, if the pressure would have been enough being single-paned windows, it would have been...
like blow one out and then have a real problem.
Right, sucking something out, exactly.
I mean, 30,000 feet, I assume, at the height, right? Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have turned. Well, maybe you have to turn around. I don't know.
It might have just been a caution thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I would not like it if I were on that plane.
Yeah.
No, sir, I wouldn't.
Agreed.
This is like that time I woke up to the smell of burning smoke on my way to Japan.
Burning smoke.
Yeah, smoke that's on fire. Smoke that was
the worst.
Smoke.
That is the worst kind of smoke.
Yeah, it turns out it's a little redundant, but no, I woke up at I don't know, it was probably, at least on my clock, it was maybe 2 a.m. or something, and we were in the middle of the Pacific, going that direction, left from LA.
Yeah.
And right in the middle of the thing, I wake up at business class with the dude who I flew with, who owes me $89,000. Anyway.
That guy.
That guy.
Okay.
He was such a butt. Anyway, we're sitting there, and I go, "You smell that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do smell that. What is that?" And it got really strong, and it sounded like there was a fire burning somewhere.
Oh my God!
It freaked us out pretty bad. And then the lady, and there were stewardess ladies or flight attendants just running back and forth, so you could tell they were up to something. And finally, they found it. It was one of the vents. So there's fans everywhere to recycle air, and one of the vent fans for intake, I think, of air, pooped out and burned out and just smelled bad. So it was never...
So it was basically the fan blew out, but because it was an intake, that burnout smell was just coming into the cabin.
It came to everybody. Anybody who had those little nozzles on, you were just getting hosed with it. So
jeez.
it was bad, but we never saw the smoke, so that was good.
God, and even so, like they decided they'd keep going, right? Like they didn't turn around. Or
They kept going. Yeah, that was considered. Means, yeah, they was either that. I think their only options were they could curve back up and go to Alaska, but I think they were far enough that the better thing to do was just keep going and land in Tokyo.
Yeah, which means that, by the way, we're not going to have any fresh air coming in on this flight. Everybody close your nozzles. And,
That's right.
Now you're really going to be smelling the farts of the people around you.
Yeah, I think what they ended up doing, if I remember right, the lady did talk to us for a minute because Ben asked them some question, and she said something like, it's still there, it's just not running, and there are many others like it, and they're all pulling air, so it should be fine. It might be a little less comfortable up here, and so it was never really a problem, but it just freaked us the F out. Because also, we were looking at the little, on your screen in front of you.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a bigger screen out here because this was back in the mid-aughts. But anyway, it shows your plane icon and where it is in relation to the rest of the planet. Dead in the middle of the ocean. Like, if we're going down, we're screwed.
You have you don't have well, we could maybe go to this island or this.
No.
Yeah, you're stuck.
I'm as likely to see, the Mariner out there doing Waterworld shit. It was so far out in the middle of nowhere. But anyway, I hated that. Sure. Freaked me out. It still does. All right. Yeah. Here's a cool story for this guy anyway. An Arkansas man, or if you're not familiar with our weird naming conventions here in the States, Arkansas man.
Arkansas man.
Received the world's first whole eye transplant plus a new face. Now, I realize that
that seems like a really poorly worded headline.
I know, it seems like they're burying the headline a little bit, right?
Yeah.
You got a whole
plus
new
a face?
Yeah.
Now it looks like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. It's like saying a guy got a finger transplant plus a whole body. It's like...
Right, exactly.
But anyway, surgeons have performed the world's first eye transplant successfully. Whoops, camera being weird. Of an entire human eye. An extraordinary addition to the face transplant world, which we've had a few successful cases of that. Although it's far too soon to know if the man will see through his new left eye. The accident with a high-voltage power line had destroyed most of Aaron James's face and one eye. His right eye still works, but surgeons at NYU Langone Health hoped replacing the missing one would yield better cosmetic results for his new face, whether it works or not. But it is an actual donated flesh and blood eye.
Wow.
Just stick it in.
And probably a donated face, too.
Yeah, somebody else's face, which is, by the way, so much to... it doesn't really work like in Face Off, such bullshit, right, that movie?
Yeah.
Because there's no way that this stuff just adheres to what you had, and now you got the same facial structure and bone structure as the person who donated it. No, you got this misshapen thing smothered over your face.
Right.
And you hope it looks okay.
That's why Hannibal Lecter didn't look quite right.
That explains everything.
That explains it.
It's been a burning question for decades, and now we know.
Now we know.
Let's see. This happened. It feels good. I still don't have any movement in it yet. My eyelid, I can't blink it yet, but I'm getting a sensation now. That's interesting. So you're starting to feel it. You got to start somewhere. There's got to be a first person somewhere. Added James. He's 46 from Hot Springs, Arkansas. Maybe you'll learn something from it. What will help the next person. I don't know why I'm giving him that voice. I apologize. Maybe it was the facey guy. I don't know.
Maybe it was the facey guy. I was wondering about that. Like, he can get away with a lot. And there's a picture of him, but he's wearing an eye patch and a face mask, like an N95 face mask. So you only really see his eye and his forehead and his ears, and his lovely wife next to him. And I imagine if if he ever says something like, wish I would have married someone who could cook, and she'd be like, what are you saying? It's like, oh, sorry, that wasn't me. That was the face. Sorry, that's part of my new face. I'm sorry. I don't mean it, hun.
Yeah, I didn't have resting bitch face until I got this new one. So
right,
sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, he can basically get say anything he wants.
Sorry. I hope
face.
it works for him. Ultimately, I would love it if this dude got his eyesight back. That'd be amazing.
Oh yeah, no kidding, for sure.
And also, good on her for sticking with him after this. Not that she wouldn't, but some people might bail.
Yeah,
too freaked out about what's going on.
No, exactly. No, exactly. She's literally standing by him in that photo, and I'm sure in life standing by him as well. LC9 in the chat room says, I've considered a false eye, like one with a painted pic, maybe a WoW icon.
Ooh.
So That would be cool, like the dude in Last Action Hero, Charles Dance.
Yeah, Charles Dance, little smiley faces he had in there.
Yep, exactly, or a bullseye or something. And
I assume those were big, hairy contacts back then, right? Like thick ones.
Yeah, the thick ones that
that stuff
you could only wear for like a minute before they started causing real pain.
Yeah, that stuff's all changed now. You can get real thin stuff for acting and stuff. But yeah, if I was to get, so people get eye tattoos, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would. For me to tattoo an eyeball, you would have to really have a good idea for me. There's no way I'm doing this without the right reason. It just sounds like a nightmare.
I can't even imagine what a right reason would be for me to get my eye tattooed.
Oh, if you look them up, lots of them are just fill in all the whites with black.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Which I don't like at all.
Can I get a QR code that goes to my website? Like, oh, hey, what's your email address? Oh, hold on. And you'll cross-eyed, and all of a sudden, a little QR code appears. Just scan this.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Cool.
Yeah.
Got it. All
that
right.
I kind of like. There's something about that that's interesting, but I don't want the permanence of it. I also don't want somebody with a needle in my effing eye. But look at this lady, chat room. I just sent to Brian too. Or can you believe that?
How are you going to get a job? Like, there is no Panera on earth that is going to hire someone.
Look, I know. So we have, pretty good anti-discrimination laws around hiring, but it's going to be impossible for some old fart manager behind the desk to put aside what he sees. You know what it's like from a practical standpoint, what should happen, that's different. You and I agree 100%. Yeah. Hire her. Yes. She's probably wonderful. Who cares?
Exactly. Right. She's probably great at her job, but
we live in a world where people see things they see things. And then they go, and even if they don't mean to, or it's all subconscious, they're probably not going to give them the job.
Exactly. It's like, I'd like to hire you to sell cars for me, but you look like Pazuzu from The Exorcist. So I'm sorry, we can't hire you.
Freaking Pazuzu. How are we ever supposed to take that name seriously?
Pazuzu.
It's Pazuzu, the demon lord. Pazuzu. Be afraid of Pazuzu.
You think I'm evil? You should meet my friend Shlamoopy.
Shlamoopy. Oh, Hail Shlamoopy. Look at the cool those indent thing or the rivets.
Yeah,
there's something I think is cool, but man,
put little magnets for whatever horns you want to wear that day.
Oh yeah,
right.
I wonder if they're like that.
I feel like goat horns, and they just.
I'm in the mood for goat horns.
Click in like Kinects or something.
But just the idea of, and I understand people have done it. We probably have some listening who've done this, so maybe write in and tell us. But having somebody do that, I'm sure you deaden the eye to make it so you're not moving around a bunch.
Yeah,
something. But I can't imagine this.
No, I can just do that by drinking a whole lot of whiskey the night before, and guess what? It'll go away later.
Yeah. Smoke weed every day.
And then I've got a great excuse.
Yeah. Smoke weed every day. Your eyes will be all burned out.
Right. Smoke weed every day.
Do what they tell you.
Yeah.
Episode. All right. Time for 10.
We better get to
Yeah, we'll take a break. No more weird eye stuff. Let's get our body whore out of here and get Wendi in here. She'll be in here after the break. But before we do a break, we got to play a song, and I'm pretty sure you brought one.
I did brung one, and it's probably where this woman got all this work done on her face, a place called the House of Harm. No, that's a band from Boston. It's a trio called the House of Harm. These guys, a lot of influence from late 80s, early 90s alt rock, which is great, kind of right in my jam. The Cure, grunge, kind of mixing all that stuff. And they're from Boston, so they say macaque. This is from their brand new LP called Playground. Comes out December 1st. This is the brand new single called Two Kinds.
I'm a very lucky boy. I've got a Tootsie Roll Pop.
Michael is a psychotic child.
And we've returned. I desire to know the name of that band and song again.
I will tell you again because your memory is as bad as mine. That's the House of Harm from their upcoming album, Playground. That is a new song called Two Kinds.
Nice. Two kinds. I like two kinds. Choice
two
is
kinds.
the spice of life.
Exactly. Who wants one kind? I want two kinds. Thank you very much.
Right? All right, here's this.
I'll explain the situation to Wendi. Don't worry.
Oh, good. My sister Wendi Dunford, smart lady extraordinaire, and also a therapist. She helps people all the time with real problems. Also, calling you a lady makes you sound really old, and I shouldn't have done that.
Oh, lady.
You lady.
Hello, lady.
Hello, lady. Do you ever get called? You ever get called ma'am or any of that? These days?
Yeah, all the friggin' time. Don't call me ma'am. If I'm in the South, I love it. If I'm not in the South, don't do it.
No, in the South, there's such a nice,
you could be 20 and being called ma'am. It's fine.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how down there it sounds great and you kind of want it, but then outside of the U.S. South, it's annoying and patronizing.
I get people in the lift all the time who call me sir. It's like, oh, thanks for the ride, sir. I'm like, sir.
Yeah, I don't like sir either.
You really don't know me.
No, you don't know me at all. My temporary drive person that's driving me somewhere.
For a second, I was like, Brian, why are you saying the English British word for elevator? Do you know an elevator?
He meant lift.
It's either people don't think that I'm weightlifting or that I'm getting in an elevator. It's a horrible name.
Yeah,
lift.
It's very funny.
Give
me a lift.
Because you should be in the lorry providing a
right.
lift.
I'm in a lorry providing a lift.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's good to have you here, Wendi. I wanted to ask you one other thing. What was it? Tattooing your eyes. Under what circumstances would you ever let them tattoo an eyeball of yours?
Who's them?
Let's just say, I don't know. For whatever reason, society's like, we only trust mental health experts with if they have a little tattoo in their eye. It's a new thing. It's a new thing. We're recommending it from the top down.
You come up with some weird hypotheticals.
I know. You really have to park your brain at the door for this one. But let's just say it became not mandatory, but a very much encouraged thing for your career. Sure. Would you do it, or would you switch gears? What would you do? She doesn't have the context of our previous tattoo thing.
What, you tattoo like a word, like a symbol, or a color?
Could be. I think after thinking about it for a while, I'd like to do like a spiral out from my iris, so that it looks like I'm Mesmero or something like that.
That's cool. That's cool.
I just want whatever tattoo happens to make my vision better. So, if
maybe
that's what it's for, done. I'll do it.
That's interesting, because then I would see, because I've had somebody cut into my eyes when I had those early onset cataract crap, and it was amazing. Changed my life, and for the better, even though it was stuff that only 85-year-olds are supposed to have done.
Now, let's be clear. If the world ever comes to that, for me to do my profession, I need to have a tattoo in my eye. Yeah. I don't know if I want to still be around.
Yeah, you'll probably do something else, right?
I'm with you.
Actually, if you're doing that in that profession, then imagine what everything, like the whole world's going to be pretty screwed up.
It's a lot of problems.
Yeah.
That's why, the playground taunt, stick a needle in my eye, was considered a negative, because you don't want it.
Because you don't want to.
Oh, that was a pejorative back? I didn't understand.
Yeah, it was like, you thought it was like a fashion prediction for the mid-2020s.
Shows what I know. All right. Well, anyway, let's get to this. We got an email this week that Wendi got, and then sent it here, and then now we're going to read it. By the way, I checked on Mom. She's sleeping on a couch. She sits up straight, sleeping all night. Did you know this? Have you talked to her?
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Even work?
Because of her ribs. She can't lay down.
Oh, gotcha.
And
so
she's
sleeping.
Healing.
She's sleeping propped up. My grandmother did that for a long time. Slept propped up.
Yeah, she's doing it because of this rib thing. But I assume that it is feeling better. She said, but I assume when it feels much better, she'll be able to go lay in a normal way. But
yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. So she's just sitting there watching our programs. Letting the world go by, whatever. You're 85, you do what you want.
Programs, okay.
Anyway, let's get to this email. Is there anything you want to say about it before I read it, or just go?
No, I got lots of thoughts.
All right, here we go. This is from somebody who said we can use his name, so we'll say this is from Mike. He says, our 25-year-old daughter, this is like in my age range, I guess, because I have a 25-year-old daughter. Our 25-year-old daughter has come to her mother and me to say that we are emotionally abused, or that we emotionally abused her as a child, and we are the reason why she has anxiety and isn't able to figure out how to be an adult. We've talked about it, and we can't think of anything we did that feels out of the ordinary, ordinary than other parents, I think is what he meant.
Well, ordinary than any other parent.
Oh, than any other parent. Why did I need an S? Scott, go back to sleep.
I don't know why.
No one knows.
An example she gave is that we forced her to try out for sports when she wasn't particularly great at them. That made her feel very self-conscious with her peers. That's why we wanted her to do sports in the first place, to help her overcome those fears. Shouldn't a parent try to help their kid do things that they don't want to do? ? My dad didn't want me to quit basketball, or baseball rather. I don't know why I put another sport in there when I wanted to. And even though I didn't play past high school, it really helped me learn things like teamwork and working hard. How did we go wrong, and what can we do to repair our relationship with her? From Mike. So this is I won't say it's every parent's nightmare, but there is a fear when you're raising your kids. Like, okay, we think we're doing good, we got this going, and even if you did all your best things, that they will somehow hit a weird thing in their life and go, I hate working, therefore it's something my parents did, and then they're going to blame you for it, or something like that. I've felt those kinds of fears before. Turns out they were unfounded because my kids are fine, but
yeah,
that was a thing. So I feel bad for them, because that's kind of one of my worst nightmares.
You never want your child to come to you and say, you guys traumatized me.
Yeah, it sounds so
as
awful.
As a kid with such and such. It's like, oh my God, we were just trying to be helpful, or we obviously wasn't our intent.
Yeah, and it's obviously if they really did do something to harm you, or cause physical or mental harm or whatever, then that's one thing. But if it's just, I don't know, you were kind of lame, or you weren't cool like somebody else's parent, or whatever the reasons may be. I mean, it just sounds awful to have this be told to you. So anyway, what do you want to do, Wendi? Where do you want to go?
Okay, so it's evident you two are not. Well, okay, let's back up. I need like 1,000 more points of information to do this email correctly. But we're not gonna get that. But
you almost want this a parallel email from the daughter.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. I'm guessing she doesn't listen to the show.
Yeah,
you guys traumatized me by making me write to your podcast friends.
You're always making me do things. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So I'm going to extrapolate quite a bit. And so I got a lot of I'm taking a lot of liberties with this one based on
those liberties.
Yeah. I'm going to take these liberties because I just had a call this morning with a client who's like a very extreme version of this. And so I'm probably going to side with the kid more than Mike. And that's going to maybe throw this person off. So everyone just grain of salt. I don't have enough information. And first of all, we can do this, though. We can empathize like you guys just did with the parent's position of I did my best. Did not mean to harm you.
Yeah.
And also you're complaining that I made you play sports. Like that cannot be really what you would consider emotional abuse. Like you can imagine all the things Mike is thinking and his wife is thinking, like, what? How is this happening? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's stay with that position for a moment, and then we're going to switcheroo and then imagine the daughter's email.
That's good. Good to see
but
both
let's
sides.
just So we'll start with this though. What that's like. So there's a couple components I'm imagining are at play here, and some might be culturally contextual, right? So, for example, these are Gen X or Boomer. We'll say Boomer just to be rude to boomers. Okay. But older parents who did not probably talk a lot about their feelings. Okay. And so what we have is a bit of a generation divide of like this kid's coming and using therapy words at me, and maybe they don't have any experience themselves with therapy words, or that you could just talk about those things. And I could guarantee Mike's father and the whole baseball thing was maybe a one conversation. No, you're playing. Okay. And that's, the extent of the rights and privileges of kids to express their feelings and then have that affect parents. It's just less. It just was. That is it. It's a different time. Okay. So we can have lots of compassion for that. That is the frame of reference someone is coming from in parenting. And then you would be pretty annoyed at all the therapy speak. Like, this is my world, and I find it annoying sometimes. Like, okay.
Yeah.
You're not being gaslit. That's not what this is. Like, because it is so sort of TikTok ubiquity, it's just around, everyone's hearing it. And here's my overarching theory about that is if you've taken an abnormal psych class pre-internet, and you'll know what I'm talking about. In an abnormal psych class, you read things you've never known existed, and you're like, whoa. And then you diagnose everyone in your life, including yourself. Like, I think I have that. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It's kind of like the WebMD searching when you have a headache and you see the whole list of what it could be, and then all of a sudden you start assuming it's all these other things.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And then it is just algorithmically, you know that word, shoved into your face over and over and over again if you even watch one video. So now you are being told in a relentless tone that you are ADHD or you have autism or, you know, these other things, in the sense that it's like a horoscope. You kind of relate to bits of things, right? But then if you really got tested, you're going to find, oh no, I don't have some of these things, but you're going to feel like you do. Okay. So I have no idea if that's where the daughter is coming from. I just would assume she has more access to sort of mental health online version than her parents did, and has maybe struggling with some stuff in her life and is trying to find the source for some of it, which living an adult life is difficult. And especially maybe 25 is a nice round age for a little quarter life crisis where you're like, oh, life is hard and I got to do my dishes every day. You know, like some of that stuff just kind of can land on you. You're finished with college, maybe you got your first job, maybe you're, you know, whatever you're doing, maybe it's hitting home. And so you're starting to have some feelings, etc., and you're trying to find sources. And then the internet will tell you, if you're around any other young person, because the algorithms get shared, that you are, this is going on for you, right? And your boomer parents don't understand you and they probably did something wrong. Okay. Right. I'm not saying that's all mental health on social media, but it definitely can be.
Sure.
Right? And so Mike might be realizing, oh, this kid thinks we emotionally abused her because we did some maybe normal parenting things. Oh, what do we do there? So let's just start with, it's possible you were not emotionally abusive and we're misusing words and we're thinking things, we're all in an abnormal psych class. Okay.
Yeah.
What to do then? And then I'm going to flip it and talk from her perspective and then say what she might need her parents to actually do.
Right.
Okay. So I want to put you two in this position really quick. You're the parent. This is what your kid is saying to you. Tell me your first gut, knee jerk, don't try to sound good reaction. Go.
Don't try to sound like
cool.
you know, yeah.
I'd be stunned. I'd be like,
yeah, oh, for sure.
I wouldn't know what to say.
Okay.
I would probably be quiet for a while. You know,
my initial thing would probably to be defensive, like, oh my God, no, we were just trying to do the best for you. I'm sorry that it didn't work or it didn't turn out like we planned. But I need to know more about the figure out how to not being able to figure out how to be an adult. Like what aspect is there of that, and how is there more that she's not saying that is giving her anxiety than just the sports thing? Every parent makes their kids do soccer or makes their kids do
something. Yeah.
Something. Exactly.
There becomes a time where you have to, I totally agree with Brian. It comes a time where you have to, I don't know how to explain this. Like I'll give you a quick example. Phoebe's been sick this week and Taylor got really worried about what it was because her poop was gray, and that's a bad sign. I mean, something's up with the liver, but if she's not jaundiced, it means it may not be anything serious. And then she had this horrible chest thing, and it just seemed like a lot of problems all at once. And yesterday she was really lethargic and kind of wouldn't move, and she is a very active kid. So she was just sort of laying there, and it freaked her out. She called us, and Kim's advice was, we'll take her to an Instacare because they're good at this. If it's RSV or something, that they're fully equipped to handle this. And, you know, this is the kind of thing you would go there for it. If it escalates or needs something more, then they'll tell you that, and then you'll go do it. But Taylor was like really freaked out and was like, well, I'm going to the ER. I just want to be sure. And so she did. And it turns out we were 100% right. It was it's viral. It's just has to go through her system. and is taking a day or two longer than usual, but it's just a nasty little virus. Van has it too, and he has a fever, so does she. And the doctor's like, she'll be fine, lots of fluids, that sort of stuff. Get her to drink water. And then Taylor was like, well, crap, it wasn't nearly what I thought. I'm going to spend $1,500 for an ER visit versus $50 for the, where I was, if I'd have gone to the Instacare, blah, 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 blah. And it just reminded me that would have been an opportunity for me to go, told you so, or we know some things. Parents aren't stupid. Our advice is based on experience. We could have done all that, but we can't do that anymore. And here's a better example. Taylor once sat me down. It was weird because this never happened. She pulls me aside. She goes, Dad, I need to talk to you. I'm like, okay, what's up? She goes, a lot of times I'll share like really fun pictures of the kids. Like, here they are at the house playing, or here's her first laugh, or here's her trying to learn the word, cracker or whatever. And I'll see those. And my immediate instinct is to go, oh my gosh, I have to share this. This is so great. And so I'll put it up on social media of various kinds. And she says, I need you to just ask me before you do that. And I went, and so here's the part that this reminds me of. My gut went, I want to be defensive and say, well, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I do it because
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. I love the kids. I want to share it with my friends. I could have said all that. And I had to, this is the first time I really had to face this. I went, crap, this is no longer my prerogative. This is no longer my imperative. It's hers. And hers and Dylan's. And if they feel this way, the only way for this to be dealt with, there's no other way to do this than for me to go, oh crap, I'm so sorry I didn't know, and I will make sure to do that from now on, and then really make an effort to do that. And it took all I had because I was feeling very defensive. I was like, well, wait a minute. You're acting like I'm some kind of, posting weird pictures of kids that makes me weird, or, something like that. Like I got really, those feelings were back there. But I had to stop and go, well, wait a minute. Even if she's wrong, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, exactly.
At this stage, those days are gone. When she's 10 and I say, don't touch that, it's too hot. That was my job. It's not my job anymore, right?
And a feeling and a reaction, a feeling is never wrong. The cause of it might be something deeper or something different than what they're telling you. They may not even know what the real cause is for their frustration with that, or their upsetness about that, or that sort of thing.
No.
So the feeling is never wrong. It's the, they may not know what the real cause of it is. In this case, like, you may not know. She may feel traumatized by the being forced to play sports, but there might be some other things that are causing the anxiety that the parents did that maybe she hasn't even realized yet, or maybe doesn't feel like she can talk to them about yet.
Yeah, and I have to admit, if our parents, Wendi, had forced me to do sports, because I hated sports when I was younger, but I was tall and probably should have played something. And I actually agree with some of these ideas that sometimes team sports is good for you, and you can learn leadership skills and coordination skills, all that stuff. That's all true. But if they'd have made me do it, I would have resented it. I would have been mad.
Right.
So anyway,
I was made to play soccer, and it just made me realize I don't like playing soccer.
Yeah,
it just deepened your distaste.
Yeah,
that's right. Exactly. No, I hate Pele.
And Scott, my work here is done. You guys, I got it. So good done.
So was that what you're supposed to do? Because I still, to this
You've
moment,
trained us well, Wendi.
Yes, I know.
Because I still at this moment had this. I had some unsurety about it because I just didn't want to. What was most important to me was my relationship with her and her kids, and whatever it meant to keep that whole was enough for me to park whatever my ego wanted me to say. And even then it wouldn't have been that, I would have probably just said, oh, well, I'm not trying to, I'm just, sharing. But instead it was just like, no, you know what? Just be okay with it. Be okay with that. Right. Be okay with her saying the ER is the only way I want to do this yesterday. It's okay.
It's a big jump from having a lot of influence to feeling like you have to walk on eggshell.
You have to just catch yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. And Misha said this once. She's hangs out with all these running ladies, and they run all the time, and they're all 10 years older than her or something. And so they'd all had kids get married before Misha's kids got married. And she said the advice they just repeated relentlessly when my kids started getting married was, it's just time for you to shut up. That's your whole job now, is to just stop talking. Kind of like your influence really shifts suddenly, and it is meant to. It is meant to. It's just can come real at like an alarming pace, right? And so, so suddenly, like you don't get to decide what they're doing because they are adults, and at the same time, they have to figure out adulting. So Scott, if honestly, can we all just take a moment of silence for a $1,500 ER visit?
I know.
Good night. What country do we live in?
I know it sucks.
Right.
It's the worst.
But that is a $1,500 lesson she would not have learned any other way. You learned probably back in the day, $150 lesson for the same thing. And
well, it wasn't the 40s. I mean, it was still pretty. I
know it was 1921.
The one time we took Nick to the ER,
was trade a donkey for medical advice.
It was like 1,000 or something when we took Nick. It was still pretty high. It's
but
stupid.
The idea, I mean, Nick is your third kid, and he was, you know what I'm saying? Like you figure it out as you go, and everyone has an ER. This is why we don't go.
Yeah.
This is why my kids have like crooked lips because they split their lip. I'm like, you're fine. You just can't. It's hard, right? Okay, but that idea of like, all right, so there is something going on here. And Brian, you're exactly right. We don't actually know what it really is. If at 25, you haven't been made to play sports since 7th or 8th grade, and that's what you tell your parents, what you are really telling them is something very different. You just only know how to say those words. Right. So it's kind of like art. Art doesn't exist unless you can see the negative space, right? The negative space is the thing this person is saying without saying those words. And that's tricky. So you're both still called on to be parent and be wise and try to navigate this. And at the same time, lose a bunch of your influence. And I haven't thought this through, so just, grain of salt again. Lots of salt today.
Sure.
A whole shakerful.
Is kids do not rebel the way they used to. There is a lot less teenage doing it my way and, sort of angst. A lot more kids are just hanging out with their parents and having a good time. That their actual rebellion, which is a necessity, it's not, rebellion doesn't have to be the thing, but it's individuating. Like you have to be a separate person from your parents. How do you do that? And teenage earlier stuff is a little more violent version of that, right? But there is a 20-something version of this that continues to happen. So here's a great example. Abe said to me the other day, we're going to do a whole episode on Abe's roommate, you guys.
Sweet.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that's great.
Wow.
Do we need to dedicate, how long do we need to dedicate?
It's going to be weeks.
Show?
It's super rough.
Be another multi-part. I love it.
Excellent. So bad. It's excited. So bad. Anyway, don't room with a stranger. Let's just say that. Okay, anyway, but I was talking to him the other day and he said, hey, if you happen to look at my account and there's $75 from Texas because my buddy's girlfriend sent me money so I could put together a package for him for his birthday. And I was like, Abe, do you think I look at your bank account? He's like, he goes, well, I assume all parents do that. And I said, no, parents that don't trust their kids might. And he's like, you don't? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, now go buy drugs, whatever you want to do. You have the freedom. No, just kidding. But just that idea of like, he is surrounded by 18-year-olds, and I get it. They're dumb and they're going to make mistakes, but this is his own money, people. This isn't money I give him. This is his own money. So it's none of my business. He's an adult now. It's hard to say that sometimes, but it's true. Yeah. But he is alone. He is alone. And that is hard for him sometimes. Like, does it mean you care? I'm like, oh, it means I care deeply. But you also showed us we could trust you from 16 on with your own money. He's like, oh, okay. Now, it sounds like I'm bragging, and I am, because I'm really proud of this. Like, I'm really proud of this because, and this is what makes me sad, actually, is that there's probably other kids in the same boat where they manage their own finances and they maybe have good heads on their shoulders or whatever. Now, I'm never letting Pete manage his own money, people. So it's not like all my kids have got it. It's not just a parenting thing. It's a person thing, right? And so, but the reality is he is surrounded by kids who don't have a lot of adult things. And when I tell you about his roommate, you'll die. But a lot of adult skills, and they are, being launched out in the world. And as they're doing that and scrapping with, I'm trying to navigate college or my first job or living on my own or paying rent, and I also have to do all this laundry. And when do I change my bed sheets? Like things they just have to learn. Mm-hmm. So much of it is happening later because parents have been so let's say, careful with their kids, right?
Did that get amplified too by the pandemic and some kids moving back in and all that? Yeah.
All sorts of grace for this, people. This is not a clear, like I'm judging all the parents who just didn't, because you're worried about your kid. They're living through a pandemic. You're like, you know what I need to do? Make you scrub toilets. Like you maybe never thought that. However, never having them scrub a toilet means they don't know how to scrub a toilet. So you do have this sort of, this is normal, and adults have to learn how to adult. And then suddenly they're 25 and they're really struggling. And who do they blame? Well, they blame the handler, who handled all this for me, right?
Yeah.
Who made, right? And so a parent's hearing, hey, you made me play basketball or soccer or tennis and I hated it. And it's your fault I feel these ways. So it's the things they're not actually saying. Like Brian said, they can't maybe even access what it really is. So this is very tricky. So my advice to Mike and his wife are to do what Scott did, actually, which is to feel whatever that reaction is of just like, you whippersnapper, whatever you want to feel. And kids these days, and get it all out of your system somewhere else.
Yeah,
and then,
but not at her. Yes.
But not at her. And do the thing of, I really want to understand this. So one of the things, Brian, you did, and this is why it's probably not going to happen to you, it's because you were immediately curious, like what is really happening? And so if you can imagine coming at that conversation with curiosity, with openness, with apologies, with, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And you know it, you can't still parent the old parenting style and get a different return, right? So this kid is coming at you without a full developed way of talking to you because maybe they don't know how, that hasn't been practiced. You don't know how to do that together.
Well, there's only one desired return.
Could be part of the not knowing how to be adult too.
Right, and there's only one return you want. The one return you want is your relationship to be not only intact but a thriving one. So if you want that, you really desire that, the last thing you want to do is get accusatory and back into a corner, because that is earning you none of the things I just said. If you want the stuff I said, in the position you're in now, they're not 5 anymore. Back then, you could say, no, you can't go there. Grab your stuff and let's go, because that's what that's the deal then.
That's the deal.
But that's not the deal now, right?
But if you, like many of Abe's 18-year-old college freshman friends, like parents are still doing that, right? They're still... Where are you? I'm tracing every step. And technology has made this so much easier. Right? Yeah. So then the actual, and here's where I'm going to jump to the 25-year-old side. Here is where they didn't choose any of that. They didn't ask for you to parent the way you parented. They are just a product of one fun night. And here we are. And there is a lot of pressure from parents on kids, and we've talked about this in various forms before, for the parent to live through their experience. And half the time, it's not even just like a fun version of that. It's a don't die. Like you're such a close extension of me. Do not make my life harder or worse. I care about you so much. I'm terrified. And fear as a parenting strategy will lead you to a lot of inability to sort of let a kid stumble or figure things out themselves, or some of those just so natural things that need to occur. So then we have these sort of moments of reckoning. And so this kid didn't choose any of this. It's just what, she got. And there's no way that this conversation is all about like, hey guys, just apologize for making me play sports. Right.
Right. Yeah.
It also might be, yeah, it's never that, but it also might just be like, hey, this is a great sign that she's even coming to you to say any of this, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And so see it as a branch. She's reaching out to build real connection. And this is where sometimes older folks haven't done any of their own work on their own stuff. And so when a kid comes at them with any kind of feedback, they're just not ready. And they react pretty immature. So I'm going to steal a line he had here, which was, my dad didn't let me quit baseball when I wanted to, right? That feeling is legit and real, which is like, I didn't have a chance to have all this emotional space. And so when a kid comes up with you asking for emotional space that you've never been allowed, never given yourself, never figured out how to grieve or mourn or heal, it's going to be way triggering to the kid in you that never got any of this crap. And so you're like, how do I actually meet my kid who's having an emotional need when I don't think I ever got my emotional needs
I didn't get that when I was a kid myself. Yeah.
Yeah. And it isn't petty. It's not like a keeping score. It's a capacity, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
Because I've never been able to.
Yeah.
Basically, parenting is just giving your kids the partially, of course, giving your kids the experience of things to do and things not to do for when they become parents. That's really basically all we do as parents is here's all the things that were done to us as kids. Some of the things we learned not to do from our parents, some of the things we learned to do because our parents did the opposite, etc. Use this to become parents yourselves and either learn from what we did wrong or learn from what we did right. And
yeah.
It's that hard. Right there
if they choose to become parents, obviously.
Yeah, always a choice. But here's the thing, that for generations, that's not a choice. It's just now a choice. And that's wild to think about, is that there is enough shift in the zeitgeist that people have pursued other options instead of just felt guilty constantly. Like it's pretty and what it is, and Brian, you're describing it really well, is every generation gets a little better with this stuff.
Yeah.
And with each generation, and this is very American centric as we're talking, right? Like I'm very aware of that. There are other cultures that this is going to be really different.
Sure.
How this works. And so okay, so you take kids who have more access to the words, maybe to therapy, maybe to I'm going to think about things slightly differently, or trying to understand why they feel like crap about certain stuff. And, if there's one thing that's true in all therapy, somehow it boils back to your mother and your father and it's not because they've done it all wrong or they're terrible people, but they are a piece of the puzzle. And this is where those generational things kind of show up. Right. So just the other day, I was talking to a client who we could trace the angry men in his family, because we were talking about, angry man, dad, angry, grandpa, angry. We kept going back until, he knew enough about his family history. He had his great-great-grandfather or whatever fought in the Civil War. And they have some letters that, the trauma of that dude's experience and then coming home and parenting, right? And so we don't know, maybe his father was angry too. We don't know, but we do know we can trace back some behaviors, some tendencies, some history to trauma that existed a long time ago. And then just skill set. So I like to think of trauma as disrupting skill set growth and development. And so you may have parents, and this is where if the 25-year-old was writing this email and giving us very different details, it may be something like this, where the parents have fairly immature responses. So the guy wrote it to make him look good. So this is where I don't know. I'm making this up. So sorry, Mike. But he wrote it to make themselves seem a little bit like the victims and kind of open to what do we do? And that's great. I hope that's all authentic, right? But it also might be, because we all do that. We all write ourselves in the, I don't know, understand why would they be mad at me part of the story. And it may just be that their development and their own history and their own unresolved stuff means that they are somewhat immature as a parent. And so when that young person running into an older person who cannot abide a conversation, cannot get curious and is defensive and blames back, it's usually because it's hitting some underdeveloped part of them. And so, sorry to repeat myself forever, but everyone take out your own garbage. And that is the answer. So the answer for Mike is for he and his wife to dig deep and really figure out what they can take responsibility for, and then what they really want. And do they want this connection and and then be humble as hell because the other person in this equation is still the child. Even though they're an adult, they are the child, which means they still need you to act like grown-ups. And I will meet people in their 50s who need their 75-year-old mother to just be grown up for once. Right. And that's because, and when we get real curious about mom and dad's history, or we get really curious about okay, what is this dynamic? There's a lot of healing that can take place and a lot of softening that can take place, and a lot of relationships that can be saved. There is a bit of a, I didn't look at the numbers, I forgot to do this, but a bit of a increase in just like people cutting people out of their lives. Like I don't talk to my family or my parents anymore, just sort of this, and a lot of it is what we're talking about right now, is that inability to then bridge the gap and work it through.
Sometimes it feels like it's a lot easier to say, I don't want to reach across with an olive branch. It's way easier for me just to live my life and not. We have some people in my family on my dad's side that aren't speaking and haven't spoken, a mother and a daughter, or parents and a daughter, and they've even got a new grandchild that they haven't even seen yet, because neither one of them wants to or feels like they can make the effort to reach across and say, and mea culpa.
And it's hard. It is heartbreaking, and
it is.
And it's what's frustrating from my perspective is I think therapists will often, be supportive in any of those decisions, as you should be, right? Without maybe applying some of the harder skills and work for that person. Now, do not get me wrong. There is abuse, and then there is family, we argue over politics, or we don't get along this way, or someone offended me here or there, right? There's that form of immaturity, right? But then there is obviously very difficult things. So I am not referring to that stuff. Right. But more of we're all in psych class now, and I have this thing and you never got me help. And, sort of instead of, hey guys, let's work through this together. Because I'm telling you, the hardest work to do is to get a family on speaking terms. Like it's 1,000 times more work than it is for me to sit with one person and be like, yeah, your parents suck. Yeah, I hear you. Right. And so you get it. I get it. I do. It's not like an overall criticism, but I just think it's becoming more common because it is difficult. There's more things we find ourselves divided on. And then the maturity feels like it's just kind of clearly dropped. So what I'm excited for, here's what I'm excited for, is when Gen Z are parents. Yeah. I know we all think the world's end is going to be over by then, but I think like some emotional intelligence that in theory they have, now they're going to have their own version of problems with this, right? Every generation does.
Right.
But there's always a kind of an improvement. And so we'll see. What happens to these kids who had their emotions validated, or to the parents who did the therapy and healed from their childhood trauma? Like, I mean, I think about it all the time. Is there anyone a billionaire that listens? That'd be really great.
No.
Can I have?
I wish.
Yeah,
we've got a Patreon level for you.
Yeah.
I have a $500 million idea. I think I've mentioned it on this show before, but I would really, really love to just have a town that got every single person in the town had free therapy.
Just see what happens. Like they do this with other stuff sometimes. It's like, what did I read about recently?
Follow it for a couple generations.
Yeah. Just as like a social test, but why not?
It's got to be one of those like manufactured little towns like in Florida. There's those ones in Florida that are like with silly names like Discovery Florida or something like that, where you can kind of close them off, give them all therapy, see how they do, and then just
you just have a lot of grandparents realizing that their grandchildren are not just props, but they are actual people they should get to know. Yeah, I would love that. So any billionaires out there, I'd love to start this. Any cities want to raise your hand? I'd be happy to organize this. I just think it'd be fascinating.
Are you volunteering to be the therapist? Now, would you have to cut yourself off from the outside world as well?
No. I would be the chief. I would coordinate the therapist.
So you get to step in and outside of the dome, but they don't.
Yeah. No, therapists aren't in the dome either. They couldn't be, right?
You'd be the benevolent cult leader.
It's all telehealth, right? Yeah. Because that makes it possible that you are not interfering and you're not, but you are, and they're all trained in like the same model. I would be so fun.
Yeah, I have some recommendations for some towns that really could use that.
Yeah, do you have some towns that could use that?
I'll send you a list.
Yeah.
It'd be wild. And I can imagine that the cost that would cost versus like maybe some other ways we have to spend money to try to help towns. It would be really interesting. They'd be like, whoa, we're doing this. This saves a lot of money. Also, consent. Like so many people would be like, no, go away. But it would be really fun.
Right.
Yeah.
There was oh my God, I'm trying to find the statistic, but a recent statistic for people in the dating world say they would much rather date someone who's had therapy than like there was some other. Let's see here. Got to find the
and where's
I could see this.
Has an animal.
I could see this.
Let's see. There's trying to find because it was just came out, and so I'm looking like in the news to see where the.
Oh right, I feel like I saw that too.
Yeah.
This is difference with Brian. Brian looks it up. Me, I'm like, I don't know if this is real, but I'm going to say it.
Just going to let it rip.
Believe me. Wendi, it's 50-50 for me.
Okay.
But 50% of it is, you know what, I think this is right. I'm just going to say it. And then we get an email. Well, actually, Brian is wrong about this.
Yeah, we get lots of those.
Sometimes that comes from Scott. Yeah. Hey, Brian, actually, I just Googled it. And
Brian.
Well, you know, we strive for accuracy here. That's all. We try.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't find I know there was a statistic recently. I can't even remember where I read it, but it was like, 30 years ago, if you find out your first date has been to therapy, you're like, ooh, something wrong with them. There will not be a second date. But now I'd be more into it too. Like, yeah, you've been to therapy? Great. You're a centered person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And also tell me why you went. I would also be curious about that. But I'm also Gen X, so
yeah. It's like, I have destructive fire tendencies. I'm going to therapy for that. Cool.
I like to burn government installations and stalk high-profile celebrities. Is that weird?
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping to incite another January 6th. I'm going to therapy for that, but
that'd be great.
Oh, you guys! I went to a '90s party. Yeah. It was so fun, but also. They were like young in the 90s and I was like a teenager in the 90s. So it was funny, our different, like whatever, it was a big group. So we all were talking about different, I'm telling you, I haven't had this happen in real life. Have you guys? Anyway, we're all talking about like concerts we've been to. It was just like really fun and everyone dressed 90s and it was very funny. And so it was great. And then we all talked about events that we remember. So what did they remember about 9/11? Adam and I were obviously adults. These guys were like in middle school or something. And then I was like, the Challenger explosion. They were like, yeah, we were 4 years old. I'm like, okay, what do you remember? Blah, blah, blah. And then this dude goes, what historical events do you wish you'd been there for? And everyone's like, none of them.
None of these. Yeah.
What do you mean? He's like, no, like physically there. And I was like, okay, Berlin Wall coming down. That would have been awesome.
Yeah,
right?
That would have been cool.
Yeah. I get that. And then he goes, January 6th. And I was like, what?
Why?
And he goes, I don't know. And everyone just froze. And I'm in Minnesota, so no one can confront anyone, right? So it's just, everyone froze. And he goes, yeah, I mean, an insurrection happened in our lifetime. And the whole time I'm like, I don't know if you want to be in the building going after people.
Yeah, what do you mean? Yeah, that's a weird
one. It
was
wild. Yeah. And there was the magical, like, you could see everyone's family training kick in to change subjects, to change rooms.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And I just stared at him like, I don't know if I want to know.
No, you kind of do. You want to know, like, to stop things before they got out of hand? Or
did you think you could catch Mike Pence? Like, what were you planning?
Because you wanted a podium for yourself for home?
Yeah, I don't know what. That's a weird one.
I know. And I still haven't gone further because I was like, well, change the subject. Anyway, do you guys remember when REM? Whatever. It was a good time.
Like,
I highly recommend a 90s party to make you feel real old and also real young at the same time.
Sure.
It's a good one.
Nobody wants to do 80s parties. Are we all too cranky now for that?
I don't know, but you should definitely do this, is bring a picture of yourself during that era and share it. Like that's fun.
I was so skinny.
Oh, here we go. We found it.
Good.
Big thanks to Military Me 12. 92% of people polled 92% said they prefer to date people who've been to therapy.
Whoa, Wendi, your whole industry is just taking a turn for a whole generation.
You actually need to promote yourself as a way to get better dates.
You know what I have? I have secrets about how we should do a session on this, or a session, whatever we call this show.
Yeah, there are sessions. Let's
have someone email about this. This would be great. An online dating question or a problem they have. Because I have an entire formula that will change your life. Because my practice, of course, was started before anyone online dated. And the first couple people, I was like, are you crazy? Yeah. Like, don't do it. And then realized, this is just how it works, Yeah. So I've watched from the beginning, and those products will literally harm you. if you don't use them right. And so I have some really good ideas. So if anyone has a online dating question.
You mean like Tinder and that kind of crap?
Yeah, I was going to say, can you help me with the photo I use for my Tinder profile? Because I think shirtless with a baby tiger is the way I want to go.
Yeah.
That's exactly how you want to go. Also, if anyone follows up, I'd love the 25-year-old, if I doubt she's listening, but some version, if you're the 25-year-old in this math problem with your parents not being able to hear your feedback or whatever, we'd love to hear your side too.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely default towards the younger person every time. Mm-hmm. And so I tend to be a little more biased towards the, like, it's not her fault. That thing is really hard for me because it just means you're not maybe willing to work, which I think a lot of people run into when they talk to their parents about their issues. So I'd love to have someone do it from that end. And so we could talk about how to navigate your parents' response because, you can go a long way. So those two things. I have two requests. My birthday's coming up.
Yeah, it is.
For my birthday, I want an email.
I want to hear from the 25-year-old.
Yeah.
I want to hear from a 25-year-old, and I want to hear from some online dating story so I can share.
I'm so glad we have context about all that because it sounds like a weird request for your birthday.
It does, yes, exactly.
But we know because we've been talking about it. But
very Howard Hughes sounding request if you haven't heard the last 20 minutes.
So my birthday is, I'm at a stage where do not buy me a thing. I don't want a thing.
Yeah, that's where
but
I'm at.
Plan a thing for me and feed me.
The best birthday present you can do for me right now, or Christmas present, is to take away some of my existing things.
Yes.
Yeah, remove them, rebag them up, and give them to a worthy cause. That's what I need right now.
Right.
Yes.
Wow. I love that.
All right. Well, this is good stuff. I hope to hear back from everybody involved, especially if we hear from somebody in their 20s who's maybe going through this. What's your perspective? I already noticed a certain 26-year-old Irish girl with lots of ideas in the chat, so maybe we'll hear from her. I don't know, but
I don't think I want to know what her dating profile looks like.
Yeah, I'm not sure I do either.
Maybe that's a combo email with the dating profile and your parents.
Nailed it. All right. Well, Wendi, this is great. We'll do that. Also, I know Real Steps is going on right now. There's no new signups, but are things going well? Has anybody jumped out to be a weirdo yet or anything? We're all good?
Everyone's awesome. It's been really great. And this is a hard week. This is a cleanse your palate before you gather with your family next week. So people are diving in and it's tough stuff, but it's very fun.
I keep forgetting Thanksgiving's literally next week.
Literally next Thursday. So we won't be talking. Bye.
That really F's me up. That's true. You're not going to be here. Have a fantastic.
That's what I'm doing for Thanksgiving. Are you ready for this?
Yeah,
My kids think this is so funny.
All right.
So our friends that we always do Thanksgiving with are heading out of town. And so we're like, what should we do? Should we invite a bunch of randos over and make our own dinner? Or we're like, what if we... And then we Google all of the restaurants that do a Thanksgiving buffet or just a plated dinner. Oh my word, there's 1 million of them.
Sounds great.
And then takeout, the takeout options are crazy. One gives you all the fixings and a bag of leftovers already. Jeez, right?
So it's already,
so
you can already start doling out the leftovers like
Isn't that
pre-meal.
Crazy? I love it so much.
fantastic.
Anyway, but we decided we're going to do a buffet and I need one that's reasonably priced and has, lots of food. And so we found it's at a distillery. So my kids think it's so funny. We're going to a distillery for Thanksgiving dinner, but it's this brand new distillery in this tiny kind of town in Wisconsin. And it is looks so magical. It's a pretty new place. So I don't know if they've done Thanksgiving before, but anyway, so that'll be fun. And then afterwards, there's a theater in this tiny town. It is $5 for new release movies, $5.
Wow.
You can get popcorn, a drink, a massage, and the movie for under $20.
What? Wait. A massage?
Yeah, what?
You went past that.
Wouldn't that be great? That's not true. I just want one.
Okay, darn. I was really
think that'd be great.
I was hoping
But can you imagine, you guys, $5? Anyway, and I read the first review on this little theater, and it's like, I drive an hour and a half to go to this theater whenever I go to movies. I'm like, what is this place? So it turns out it's very cute and quaint and funny, and the guy who owns it is just a regular dude who you get to know. And anyway, so
it's not a flat screen in his basement or something weird like that.
No,
right?
Wouldn't that be weird? And it might be. If it is, I'll take some video.
Okay.
Please do. Yes.
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
$5. Here you go. Here's a massage.
Fantastic. What are you going to see? You see the new Paul Giamatti thing, or
what are you in
Hunger
for?
Games prequel, or
I don't know. We'll have to see what is actually playing at this tiny.
Yeah, you say
two theaters,
Taylor Swift Eras tour.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Get in there. Get some of that while you can get it. Yeah. Well, good luck. It sounds like fun. I'll hold the wishbone for you this year.
Yeah, hold the wishbone. Have fun at Misha's. You guys are going to Do an old-fashioned turkey dinner like you haven't done in years.
Her new palatial freaking 10-acre place she lives on now. She's got some big new place. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a pool.
Hang out in her garage.
Yeah, there's a pool. The garage is heated. They went all fancy in the last couple months. Anyway, yeah, that'll be fun. But we'll miss you there, and we'll pull a virtual bone from from
Yeah, that sounds real
terrible. All right, Wendi, have a fantastic week. We'll see you after that. Bye. Shouldn't say pull a bone with my sister. It doesn't make any sense. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Take it all back.
You will not be invited to Christmas.
No, that'll be the end of that. All right. Quick notice about all the shows. Coverville today at noon. We talked about that. That's happening at noon.
That's right. XTC, not ecstasy.
Yeah.
I don't care what you take before you watch the show, but noon, twitch.tv/Coverville, XTC.
Yeah, and you're maybe, an hour and 10 minutes away from that. So be ready for that, okay?
Yeah, be ready for that.
Core tonight at 5 p.m. We have a big one. The Game Awards got announced. Everybody's pissed about what didn't get included.
Right.
We'll talk some about that. We got FilmSack this weekend as well, and FilmSack is doing a really weird movie.
Swiss
according
Army
to Brian.
Man.
Yeah. Brian saw it last night, and first thing out of his mouth was, "This might be the weirdest thing we've seen." So I am stoked to see. How it goes.
I like it, but man, I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do for an intro. I have zero idea at this point.
Man, this one stumped your musical
stymied me
things.
is what it did. Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, you'll learn more about that as we know it this weekend. FilmSack, watch for that. Also a couch party tomorrow. We're going to watch an hour of however much we can fit into What If season 1, so that
probably 2 episodes. That gives us an hour and 15 minutes probably.
Totally perfect. Yeah. And then that way we've got we can watch that whole thing, and the new season got announced, got a trailer. So we'll be all prepped for that. I haven't seen anything past the Captain America stuff at the beginning, the Peggy Carter stuff. Captain Carter. Right?
Yes.
Captain Britain or whatever, I guess she got called. Anyway, that'll be that. And then Play Retro on Friday at 2:30 Mountain Time, where Dunaway and I will have a show as well. So lots coming up, lots to take in. So get on it. All right. It's going to do it for us. Big thanks to all our patrons at patreon.com/TMS. Still time to get in for the new month, or this month rather. So please do check out all the details there. It will explain everything. Patreon.com/TMS. And another note that if you want in our Discord, no matter who you are, go to frogpants.com/Discord. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Also, all of the show sites up on the site have a link directly in there too. So if you're still stumped, our regular old web page will get you there. All right.
Nice.
Click on contact. It's right there. Boom, bam, boom. All right, Brian, we're done. We need to play a song, though. I don't have one, so you probably have to do it.
I guess I have to bring it, right? Okay, well, we got an email from Mike Lindell who wrote in... Oh, not Mike Lindell, the pillow guy.
Oh,
it was somebody else.
Good.
I really want you to play a song about pillows.
Pillows. Jesus is a pillow.
This is this is coming from Claire. I just wanted to. I was waiting for the all caps what.
Oh, good. Well, you got it. Now we have full energy to move forward.
Exactly,
this is good
because I promised her that I'm playing cover for her. Dear, she put this in here just so she could hear me mispronounce the hell out of it. Dear Shelby and Bin Akti.
Good Lord.
There you go. Enjoy that. Tomorrow is a very notable birthday for the man, the myth, the legend, Rev Fry. This lovely, now very old man is one of the most wonderful human beings in the world that I'm so lucky to have in my life. He's pretty feckin' lucky to have me too. I'm delicious.
Wow.
She said
Fantastic.
her words.
Yeah.
So for his birthday, can you please make everyone's ears bleed by playing any of the covers featured on the TikTok account at the Taco Pellers? Nope. However, if you're too chicken, then I guess the Ukulele Orchestra's cover of Teenage Dirtbag will do. I have attachment to the spectacle in spite of everything. Love the show, though.
Nice. That's pretty good.
P.S. Can you please play any clip you might have of me?
Yeah.
Vain much? Plus all clips you have of laughing.
Oh, well, there's too many of those to do. But I do have some Claire's. Hold on. Here's her recently.
Stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah, so there's that. How about this one? Why is it spelled Claire with an I? I don't know why I did that. Here it is.
Yes, we actually say feckin', we say feck, we say shite, we say arse, we say feck, we say shite. We actually say feckin', we say feck.
I may have edited that.
Jeez, Louise.
May have done
There's
some
no
editing
involved in that one whatsoever.
No, of course not. But yeah, Claire, there's too many laughter tracks. We have billions of them. It's just too many. So sorry. Yeah. You don't get that one, okay?
Here, Scott and I will laugh for a second for you.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, there you go. There's laughing clips for you.
All right, I'll give her one here. Here's one. All right? There. That's a laughing clip.
That's a great one, too.
Sure. Totally random.
Fantastic.
Pulled it out of my butt. Anyway.
Well done. All right. So going out to Rev Fry. We all love Rev Fry here. This is Teenage Dirtbag performed by the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain. You'll find this on the 2008 release Live in London, Volume 1. And of course, it's a cover of Weedus. Find out, do they mention Iron Maiden or do they change the lyrics to be some sort of, I don't know, UK band? Oh, we'll find out together.
It sounds exciting. All right, here it is. We'll be back Monday with a regular TMS and all that other crap I mentioned on the weekend. We hope to see you there.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Let me make this real to you. Bring on the virgins.
Okay. All righty, buddy. You know, and just can't argue with that, I guess.